Hello, my name is Tejas and you're watching HW News. Rahul Gandhi, the former Congress president and Wayanad MP, has been a polarizing figure in Indian politics. There is a section of people who love to ridicule and make fun of Rahul Gandhi, whereas there is also a section of people who think that Rahul Gandhi is the only leader who takes on the BJP without fear or hesitation. Though the BJP leaders claim that they do not take Rahul Gandhi seriously, it is quite visible that whenever Rahul Gandhi makes a statement or a tweet, BJP leaders jump to contradict or counter him. This is what happened after Rahul Gandhi's speech in Parliament yesterday. In a blistering speech that lasted for more than 45 minutes, Rahul Gandhi spoke on various issues ranging from Pegasus snoopgate, cooperative federalism, unemployment and Chinese aggression. In this video, we are going to take a look at these key issues raised by Rahul Gandhi and how BJP leaders reacted to it. In his speech, the Gandhi scion alleged that a delegation of leaders from Manipur had gone to the residence of Home Minister Amit Shah. However, they were asked to take off their shoes before entering his residence, while Mr. Shah himself was wearing a footwear. A few days ago, some political leader, I am not going to name, came to me from Manipur. He was very agitated. I said, "Why are you agitated, my brother?" And he said, "Rahul ji, I have never felt as insulted as I have been a few days ago," Rahul Gandhi claimed in Parliament.
A few days ago, some political leader, I'm not going to name, came to me from Manipur. And he was very agitated. I spoke to him, I said, "Why are you agitated, my brother?" And he says, "Rahul ji, I have never felt as insulted as I have a few days ago."
Union Minister Piyush Goyal hit back at Rahul Gandhi for this statement and accused him of bringing a very ridiculous charge against the Home Minister. "You have touched the religious sensibilities of all our people. Can he make such comments about our religious traditions in this house? He is attacking religious traditions. It is an attack on religious traditions of all of us," Mr. Goyal said, highlighting that removing shoes or footwear before entering the house is a religious tradition. N. Biren Singh, the Chief Minister of Manipur, also responded to the statement made by Mr. Gandhi. Biren Singh said, "It's an age-old tradition in Manipuri culture to remove our shoes while we enter somebody's house. Those lapdogs spreading it to be some form of insult are oblivious to Manipuri culture. Mr. Gandhi may kindly take note of some Manipuri culture before speaking about Manipur," the Chief Minister said in his tweet. Former Congress leader and now the Chief Minister of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma, hit out at Rahul Gandhi for his statement. Mr. Sarma narrated the old story about him going to Rahul Gandhi's residence to speak about the issues and Rahul Gandhi feeding his dog. In his tweet, Mr. Sarma said, "Mr. Rahul Gandhi, those who prefer to feed biscuits to dogs in the presence of leaders from Assam and then offer them the same biscuits should be the last people to talk about political decency. High command mindset is INC's be-all and end-all. The people of India know it well." Mr. Rahul Gandhi in his speech also hit out at the BJP's diplomatic policy and said that their policies have brought China and Pakistan together. The Chinese have a very clear vision of what they want to do. The single biggest strategic goal of India's foreign policy has been to keep Pakistan and China separate. "What you have done is, you have brought them together," Mr. Gandhi said in his speech.
What are the mistakes? I have just told you. You have brought China and Pakistan together. You have brought China and Pakistan together. You have taken the concept of two different fronts and converted it into one unified front. Yes. And by the way, in case you haven't realized it, in case you haven't understood what's going on, it is very clear that the Chinese and the Pakistanis are planning.
External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar retorted to this claim by Mr. Gandhi on Twitter. Rahul Gandhi alleged in Lok Sabha that it is this government which brought Pakistan and China together. Perhaps some history lessons are in order. In 1963, Pakistan illegally handed over the Shaksgam Valley to China. China built the Karakoram Highway through POK in the 1970s. From the 1970s, the two countries also had close nuclear collaboration. In 2013, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor started. So ask yourself, were China and Pakistan distant then? Mr. Jaishankar questioned. Mr. Gandhi, in his speech, also reiterated his allegations of the democratic institutions being destroyed by the BJP government. Mr. Gandhi said that the institutions of our country are being attacked and captured by one idea, and the judiciary, the election commission, Pegasus, all are instruments of destroying the voice of the union of states.
And I'll give you examples. The judiciary, the election commission, Pegasus. These are all instruments of destroying the voice of the union of states.
Law Minister Kiren Rijiju hit back at Rahul Gandhi over this statement and demanded an apology from the Wayanad MP. Not only as India's law minister but also as an ordinary citizen, I condemn what Mr. Rahul Gandhi has said about India's judiciary and election commission. These are vital institutions of our democracy. Mr. Rahul Gandhi should immediately apologize to the people, judiciary and EC, Mr. Rijiju said. In another part of his speech, Mr. Gandhi hit out at the union government and said that the BJP could never rule the state of Tamil Nadu. There are two visions of this country. One vision is that it is a union of states, meaning it is a negotiation, meaning it is a conversation, meaning I go to my brother in Tamil Nadu and say, "What do you want?" and he says, "This is what I want." He then asks me, "What do you want?" and I say, "This is what I want." It is a partnership, it is not a kingdom. You will never ever in your life rule over the people of Tamil Nadu. It can't be done, Mr. Gandhi said.
There are two visions of this country. One vision that it is a union of states, meaning it is a negotiation, meaning it is a conversation, meaning I go to my brother in Tamil Nadu and I say, "What do you want?" And he says, "This is what I want." And then he asks me, "What do you want?" And I say, "This is what I want." It is a partnership. It is not a kingdom. Remember that. You will never, ever in your entire life rule over the people of Tamil Nadu. It cannot be done. You will never, ever in your life rule over these other people. Please listen to what I'm saying.
Tamil Nadu BJP President K. Annamalai was quick to respond on this statement and tweeted that we are as usual amused by Shri Rahul Gandhi's sudden outburst in Parliament today. In his incoherent monologue, he mentioned BJP can never come to power in Tamil Nadu. Let me guide Shri Rahul Gandhi ji on what will happen soon as a son of this great Tamil land. He then went on to state what the previous Congress government had done to damage the cooperative federalism and how Mr. Gandhi was wrong about his statement in Parliament. Apart from the BJP leaders criticizing Mr. Gandhi over his speech, there were many others who applauded the speech and said that Rahul Gandhi raised important issues. Actress Swara Bhaskar was one of them. She tweeted that Rahul Gandhi delivered a solid speech and also highlighted the important issues raised by Mr. Gandhi. Actress and host Simi Garewal also wrote, "Today in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi came of age as a leader. In this historical speech, the nation could see and hear his passion. They could listen to the facts he presented and his genuine fears. He displayed the hallmarks of a true nationalist and a leader." Political scientist and professor at Brown University, Ashutosh Vashni, also spoke about this speech on his Twitter and wrote, "Rahul Gandhi's speech to Parliament yesterday is eminently worth listening to. It defends the only idea of India that can work, respectful of states, sympathetic to the poor and deprived, and based on conversation and negotiation. If Delhi imposes itself on India, we will lose India."